So we are busy just going through a series of how do you, and today I want to talk to you about how do you speak. And again, I'm just what I'm trying to do is just, even in my own life, just constantly highlight that there are certain things I want to just keep at the top of mind. I want to just keep on thinking, if I want to be the best version of myself, what are the stuff that I have to concentrate on? What are the things that I should focus on? We spoke about, how do I spend my time? How do I love? And today I want to talk about how do I speak. Recently, I traveled and I had to stay over. And the morning I woke up and it was, it was the room was on the ocean and closest place to the airport, and it was beautiful. And a beautiful sunrise, and it was amazing. And I was busy reading a phenomenal book by John Eldridge. As you know, anything that he writes, I'll read, called Beautiful Outlaw. And he was talking about the character of Jesus and creation. And man, I tell you, it was just such a amazing space. I just really enjoyed all of that. And so I was, got ready and went for a walk and just sat down for breakfast before I went to the airport. And I, had the lady that was running the place, lovely meal, and I had my cup of coffee, some good coffee, and a book, and I was reading, and it was just this really phenomenal space, and I loved it. It was just great. And as I sat there, suddenly I just started realizing it's almost like this little picture starting to, like in the movies, it's starting like where the reel starts to burn. It was almost like something like that. I'm trying to think, what's going on here? And suddenly I realized that while I was busy, these three guys came in and they sat 2 tables from me. And as I sat down, as they started speaking, out of the 3 of them, not one of them could finish a sentence without using the F word. And I mean, it became just suddenly, I could feel like, there's something going on here. And then suddenly I realized, there's something missing. And then I started paying attention to it. And it was just phenomenal. It was just, and I got so upset because at some point I just pushed my plate away and I got up and packed and went to the airport. And I realized that it was like this beautiful picture was stolen from me. Like the enemy stole it by the way that these guys were just in a space where they would just use language like that, the way that they speak. And I've had many experiences like this. And sometimes you're in a space where you can address it and you can talk to people about it. And I've had guys going, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I speak like this," which is horrible. Just the day before that, I was flying out. I was sitting drinking coffee at the airport in Johannesburg, and there was a father and his wife and his oldest son, and I think they were going down to take him to university or something. And I mean, he was, at some point, he just like dropped the F word in the conversation. I'm thinking, well, apart from the respect for yourself that is so lacking, is how your wife and your child right here, how do we speak like that? How have we become a society like speak like that? And I tell you, sometimes people will just go like, I'm sorry. But man, I tell you, we don't like when people point out stuff like this to us. I've had, I remember an incident where I spoke to a guy like, he was in the gym, and there was a father and his son there, and I kind of just very calmly trying to point out this guy. The string of abuse that followed, the verbal abuse that I had to endure left me feeling assaulted. It was horrible. It was just like, and those, unfortunately, when you point out to men and women, because it's, if I hear these conversations with women as well, they don't take well to it. It just makes me realize I have to be so careful, because we get into those spaces where so easily it becomes like, if I want to be one of the guys, I have to speak like that. And that is that's not the way that a beloved son would behave or a beloved daughter would behave. And I have to be so careful. I'm not just talking about swearing. I'm also talking about the stuff that comes out of my mouth. How do I speak? Is the way that I speak, is it uplifting or is it breaking down? Is it comforting to someone who's just harsh? And I'm not talking about the fact that sometimes we have to correct. Sometimes that's what God's called us to do. Iron sharpens iron in those spaces, in love and in brotherhood. But we have to consider, and especially today I want to ask you that pay attention, put a guard in front of your mouth, pay attention, make a specific point today to think, how do you speak and how does it affect the people around you, and what does it say about you as a beloved son? So take some time, think, how do you speak today?